So today is the big day where we go to meet our first potential foster dog. We're pretty excited, also very nervous. We haven't fostered in a long time, and we just have had a very steady household the last couple months without Cooper, so we are just excited and nervous. I'm getting ready this morning, picking up the yard, picking up the house, puppy-proofing everything. The foster that we're gonna go meet, his name is Dundee. He is about 6 months old, and it sounds like he was like off the streets of Kentucky, and now he's up here in New York, so I'm puppy-proofing everything. I realized this morning I don't have a medium-sized crate. I have a large-sized crate with dividers and mini or like small crates. So I'm gonna go to Pet Supplies. I gotta pick up a vacuum too, a water or a carpet shampooer as well, and then a crate. Everything else we have: collars, harnesses, bowls, other size crates, toys, though in our first few days we are going to pick up all the toys. So I'm going to walk you through the process of like what that looks like getting ready for the foster, besides just like picking up, because we already have a dog, Miss Razz, over there, and she can just be like a little particular about other dogs that she likes. And we don't know this dog, so we just want to set him up for as much success as possible so that he's highly placeable and doesn't stay with us for too long. We love our fosters, but ultimately we just want to help them get to where they're going to be. So stay tuned, and I will walk you through all the things that we do today. When it comes to bringing home a dog, one of the things that we want to make sure of is that we are eliminating the dog's ability to access resources so that we stay in control of the resources and don't allow for dogs to sort them out. So that is why we're picking up all the toys in and out of the house. So I just picked up the yard, both from dog dirt and then also all the toys and miscellaneous things that were in the yard. Razzle is just kind of milling about. We want to get her energy out for the most part, but we don't want to make her completely exhausted today. Because we don't want an overly tired dog going into a meet and greet. So we'll probably do some frisbee and go on a walk before we go meet this dog. But the yard is picked up. Inside, we're going to pick up all the toys next. Here's the living room, and this is where we're going to be spending a lot of our time. This is where we hang out. So a couple things to note. So we have to potty-proof this, or puppy-proof this just a little bit more, because anything that a 35-pound dog can reach when they stand up is like fair game for them to try to reach. Now, it doesn't mean it's right, but they just got here on Earth. So like they're still learning the rules. So we just have to be prepared and set them up for as little failure as possible. So like all of these decorations, I'm probably going to push them back or move them up somehow. That's one of Razzle's toy, her Jolly Ball up there. All of this wood I'm going to have to move. Besides just like regular picking up stuff. I'm a little bit worried about some of these pillows. They're kind of fun. Up here we have Razzle's dog bed. So we blocked this off with a pillow that works for her, because we want to decrease any of those opportunities for dogs to have competition. This is a small space up here, and Cooper and Razz did great when they were both up there, but also this is like a spot for them to just kind of watch the neighborhood, and we don't need either dog patrolling the neighborhood right now. We want to decrease all of those like hot spot opportunities for them to be more elevated around each other. The other thing we're going to do here is pick up these toys. Now I already like put them all here, but I'm going to move them probably up to our dining room table, which is just kind of like a catch-all for everything right now that just normally sits around. We got to move the pen, the shoes. The weights might be okay. We'll see how that goes. But like this plant, all of this stuff here might have to get moved. We'll maybe just see how Puppy goes and how Puppy does. But that's the setup in the living room so far. We got to move a crate in here. We have to move a crate upstairs. And this over here is another one of Razzle's bed, which usually sits right here in front of the fireplace, but I just moved it out of the way for now. So that's part of getting ready. House is picked up. It's time to go get a foster dog. Actually, first it's time to stop at Pet Supplies and Walmart and then go meet the foster dog. So let's go. So Colby and I decided to drive separately because then we can have Razz come back in one car and Puppy can come back in a different car. He also had to go run some other errands. So we just decided to split up for this task and then meet back at the park where we're going to meet the dog. So I ended up having to go with a single door. I really prefer a double door, but this was all that was in stock, and beggars can't be choosers. I also realized that I need to pick out dog food because I am very type B, and it just occurred to me that I am looking for puppy food rather than adult dog food. And I'm really just quite undecided, so I'll have to think on this for a second to figure out what I want to grab. Okay, I am defaulting to Taste the Wild puppy. So let's go get checked out, and then let's run to Walmart and grab baby Gates. I'm a little flustered at the moment because we gotta be there in like an hour and a half, but let's get checked out. Let's get moving because Razz is in the car. We made it out of the Walmart parking lot. Well, we made it out of the Walmart store, not the parking lot yet. I didn't film in there because it's just chaotic, but I got my Hoover. I got 2 Gates, and that's it. So now we're gonna go meet Foster Dog. Ready, Rizzle? In the meantime, she was just out here terrorizing everybody like that. Rizzle, leave it. You okay? We just got to the meeting spot about half an hour early, but I kind of did that on purpose. I want her to have some time to just settle in. Just because we arrived somewhere doesn't mean we're getting out of the car, meeting dogs. I know my energy is up today. I'm excited. I'm a little nervous. So we are just going to sit in the car for a little bit. I'm going to scroll my phone, kind of catch up with texts and emails for the next 10 minutes or so, and then we will maybe get her out, let her pee, and then pop her back in the car. I really just want her to be settled and calm so that when we do this meet and greet, she's going into it with the best energy. The good news is there's a few dogs outside and around. We're next to a dog park, so she's getting to see some of that and gets to watch dogs playing and just kind of hanging out and being neutral. So this is probably a good, nice half hour that she's gonna have here. My first and foremost goal with this meet and greet is to keep both dogs as neutral as possible, but then also to keep Razz as connected to me as we can. I want to show her, as we've been practicing, that when she feels negative emotion, her next step is to turn to check in with me or to move away and get more space. So as we do these meet and greets and these nose touches, we're going to try to keep them really short because Razz is at a point where she kind of doesn't know that a handshake is only 3 seconds. So as they do these nose sniffs, sometimes she holds it for a bit too long and she gets a little bit overcorrective. I think here she gets a little overcorrective, but she does kind of tell him like, hey, I'm moving slower than you are, and I just like to hang out. I don't really care about playing right now. And he was pretty respectful. He moved away. He said, okay, sorry, my bad. But he's still interested in giving her lots of space. Here, these body language signals to me are, she's trying to work out how to play, but she's also trying to set boundaries. Here, she set a boundary, but then she looked at me, and so I've rewarded her with lots and lots of space and energy. We took a little bit of a break. What I'm seeing mostly with these two is that Razz kind of just wants to hang out and be neutral and just be in the same space, whereas Puppy wants to play. He wants to bite face, he wants to run, he wants to chase, and Razz actually really enjoys those things too. She's just kind of not sure she wants to play that fast. So these guys are just going to have to slow down and listen to each other a little bit more. This to me looks like good play. We have a really nice loose tail, and she's starting to kind of loosen up just a little bit more to say, okay, you're on the right track, but can you slow down a little bit more? So we're keeping these nose touches really quick, and I think at this point I'm kind of deciding, what I want to do. And one technique we've used in the past is switching handlers. So here in a little bit, I'm going to ask Courtney if she wants to switch dogs with me, if she's comfortable with that, and she is great. She just says, yep, sure, no problem. I'm just adjusting her slip leash here really quick. But I asked her if we want to switch dogs because in the past we have done that and it's worked really well. Now, at this point in life, as I watch this footage back, I kind of feel like we didn't need to do that because that was a technique we used when Razz was a little bit younger, and it would help to show her that, like, the other dog is cool. Like, I'm with the other dog, so I'm allying myself with the other dog. But as I watch this back, I'm kind of like, yeah, Razz is fine. And I actually think that maybe I stopped paying attention to the dog I was holding, and I was a little bit more concerned about Razz than I was about Dundee. So we kind of just let them hang out, let them do their thing, let them warm up to each other. Razz has a couple more snaps, but ultimately, I think she did really, really well. The other thing that happens a lot of times with dog interactions is that people will want the dogs to meet, so they'll lead them up to each other. And if we're really listening and watching these dogs' body languages, it's like Razz doesn't want to play. She just wants to hang out and be neutral, maybe engaged in a little chase here and there, but for the most part, she kind of just wants to share space. And sometimes owners or dog handlers, they can just kind of all right, let's let the dogs meet, and they walk the dogs right up to each other, nose to nose. And then as the dogs try to leave, they try to walk them back to each other, which is a little bit what we're doing here. We are kind of saying, well, can you guys work it out? Can you, figure out how you want to play with each other? So it's just as important to watch the room or watch the dogs in the room and see what the dogs are actually engaging in. Now here, we're letting them sniff a little bit longer, we're letting them engage a little bit longer, but then we're always offering a break, especially when Dundee is doing all of these flips and things and Razz is like, I just need you to calm down. What I find with her is that she's such a teacher's pet that she has a lot of rules with what she wants to do and how she wants to play. And if those rules aren't being followed, she just gets a little antsy about things. So because she wanted more space, we kind of talked about it and decided, okay, let's put a muzzle on Razz and drop her leash. And then I'm going to hold Dundee so that I can advocate for her if he really starts to go too far and she's trying to correct him. Since she has the muzzle on, we want to be able to advocate for her. So here I just pull him away. She kind of just wants to say hi. She's such a sweet girl. And, you know, I'm super biased towards her, but she just kind of wants to hang out. And he, again, is just like, play, 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 go, go, go. And he's really starting to become very respectful about it. And right about now, I think I asked if everyone's cool if I drop the leash, because I didn't love that he was trying to leave and Razz was kind of in the middle and I was kind of holding him back from leaving. So I think right about here, we drop the leash and we kind of let them sort it out. And I think things start to go a lot better, because if you watch, they're doing lots of breaks. There's lots of sneezes. There's lots of shakes. There's pausing. They're checking in with each other. Razz is doing a little bit of a shake because of the muzzle, but there's a lot of give and take, a lot of space. And they're a little bit concerned about the dog that's barking, and so here I just start to back up to remind her, like, hey, you can check in with me if you're worried. And so she does, which I love to see her so responsive and connected. But yeah, it looks like these two are just kind of having at it and running around and zooming. I love how respectful of each other they're being. So I check in with my husband and we agree that, hey, they're doing pretty well and I think we should probably take him home. In the excitement of all this, I did not get any footage of getting him into the car and loaded up after we agreed to take him home. So what you're going to see next is him getting out of the car when we arrived home. We bundled him up in my husband's truck, and I'll walk you through the process of just getting him into the house and acquainted with the yard and everything like that. But ultimately, he's had a big day, so he's a tired puppy, so there is a lot of napping and crating in his future, just at least for the next few days while we kind of get him adjusted and make sure that he is understanding the rules and the structure of our household.
Okay. I'm feeling pretty good. How are you feeling?
Whatever you say. I'm good. Yeah.
How'd you do, little guy? Doing okay? We really got you strapped in here today, didn't we? All right, little Dundee. Wait a second. Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. As we bring him home, I just want to make sure that I am leading him around, showing him the whole property. And honestly, like, we don't know this dog. So having the leash on and holding the other end of the leash is just like an accountability thing. When it comes to setting him up for success, this basically means making sure that the right choice is always available to him. And if he decides to make the wrong choice, I'm quickly able to redirect him. So this is just where our leash comes in handy. As we show him the rest of the house, it's going to be on leash. Pretty much the next few days he's going to be on the leash, or at least dragging the leash in most cases, so that if he starts to make the wrong choice, it's super easy to just pick the leash up and redirect him. The other thing I'm noticing about him is that he could probably stand to lose a few pounds. He does not quite have that hourglass shape that we like to see in a dog's waist and into their hips. He's a little bit more shaped like an ottoman if you look at him from the top. So that's going to be one of our focuses too as we're feeding him and making sure that he stays active, is we don't want him gaining any weight. In fact, we want him to lose just a couple pounds, nothing too serious. I definitely just want to introduce him on his own to the yard, because Razz already knows this yard. She knows this home. She knows where all the spots are. She knows what things are like. She knows the routine. So I want to give him some time to just get the blueprint, the layout of the land, before we let him have all that freedom. But we eventually decided to bring Razz out because they did have separate car rides home, and we brought Razz out and they just kind of picked up right back where they left off. They're still figuring each other out, and he's kind of understanding how much space he has. I loved this part where he rips around and runs around the deck and then jumps off.
It just makes my heart so happy to see both dogs having so much fun. He just is so sweet. I am kind of curious as to what breed everybody thinks he is. Obviously, I think there's some pity staffy in there, but maybe because he started doing this laying down thing during play, I'm wondering if there's some herding dog in him. He's about 35 pounds. Now he probably should be more like 30 pounds right now and 6 months old. But just kind of curious what everybody thinks he is. And, you know, it's always fun to do that. Maybe we'll do a DNA test on him one of these days. But we let him run around, burn off a little bit more energy, and then we took him inside the house on a leash to kind of tour around. We did have Razz walk in the house first, followed by my husband and then me. We made sure that at least he was not walking in the house first. This is a little bit important to me, especially because Razz has been here. This is her home, and we don't want, you know, this new puppy coming in and setting all the rules, and space is so important. Now, I find this hilarious that he was kind of nervous about the weights I thought he was going to be chewing on. I don't know, my husband loves these weights, but Puppy does not love them so much. I've kind of been calling him Puppy since Dundee is a really hard name to just yell across the field. So then after all of this was said and done, we popped him in his crate. He whined quite a bit. I also put Razz on place so that she could just set a really good example for him. He whined, and then he would settle in, and then we'd move, and then he'd whine. But really, he was settled in. I forget exactly how long it took. I can put some timestamps in this video, but after a little bit, he was asleep, and he was tired. So we did I think we did a potty walk before he went completely down for a nap, because we let him just kind of work it out. He laid down, and then I think right about here, maybe I took him out and then brought him back in again, and then he took the nap of all naps. So yeah, big day for him. If you are watching and you're interested in Dundee and maybe wanting to adopt him, please send me a message or comment below. I'm probably going to see a message much sooner, but please send me a message. I'd love to hear from you, especially as we learn more about him. I'm always encouraging people to go through foster-based rescues if they can. There's nothing wrong with getting a dog from a shelter, but it's just so nice to have a dog when you know what they're like in a home environment, and that's why foster-based rescues are so valuable. So please send me a message if you want to know more about him. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you have any questions about fostering or what the process is like, or training even, please see the comments. There's lots of resources below, and I'd love to chat with you more. Thanks so much for watching, and stay tuned so you can follow along with Dundee's journey with us, and also to see where he ends up going. See you next time, and happy training!